The other form of gender-based violence is the physical gender-based violence, where there's battering, and many times, they make the victims feel that it's because I love you, I'm beating you. If I don't love you, I won't be jealous, I won't bother what you do. But because I love you, I'm beating you, I'm trying to protect you. Then some women are afraid to be alone. They leave one bad relationship into another bad relationship because they can't wait, they can't give themselves time to heal. They just want to be with a man. If your daughter complains that she's been violated or she's not happy in her marriage, listen to her. Marriage does not take anybody to heaven or take you to anywhere. In the roll call in heaven, they're not going to ask who are those who are married. A young woman is suffering and she's telling you, say beer. And churches too, we have not helped matters.
Exactly.
They say pray, fast. The man might just have a mental condition too. And he needs help. Instead of you to look for a way to isolate, remove the woman. Sometimes separation is very important. Remove the woman, let the man get help, let the woman get help, so that they can come back together. At the right time, say beer, pray, fast. The more you are fasting, the more you are praying, the more violent the man is getting, the more humiliated the woman is getting. And by the time something goes wrong, say, hey, if we had known. No.
The Ultimate Woman Show is proudly brought to you by Thames Empire Global Entertainment. Today we're going to be talking about gender-based violence and its impact on women's mental health. Gender-based violence has continued to be a silent epidemic in our communities, and behind all the headlines and hashtags and behind the scenes are real women going through emotional scars and mental health issues that we barely see. Joining me to discuss this topic today is a woman who is grounded in this area, and I know she has a lot to say, something that can help any woman out there who is going through these issues to seek some form of healing. With me in the studio, I have Pastor Mrs. Bridget Affiah. She is the Executive Director, Ideal Women Advancement Initiative, and the JD4 Foundation. Good to have you in the studio, ma'am.
Same here.
Thank you so much
everyone
for coming.
out there. It's a thing of pleasure to be talking of something that is in the front of your heart, not at the back of your heart.
Very true. Okay, so now we've talked about that. What would you say are the different types of gender-based violence against women?
Broadly, I'll talk about 3 types of gender-based violence against women. The first is the psychological violence.
Okay.
This is the most prevalent one. People are not saying what the man or the other person or the partner is doing to you. But you are going through so much. For instance, they can give you a low sense self-esteem. Is it because of this you are shouting? You have an exaggerated self-esteem. You think you are this, you think you are that. Before you know it, the woman begins to doubt herself. Or sometimes they say things that makes you feel less than yourself. They keep making their victim feel like, I'm helping you. When we see this a lot in marriages, and there are 10,000 women out there who want me. Because I settled with you, you think that you're doing me a favor and all that. And before you know it, without all that of gaslighting, she begins to believe that, oh, yes, this is true. And by the time she wakes up one day and checks out the reality, especially when the relationship fails, then suddenly she begins to think back. He said this, he said that. She now goes back to all those gaslighting, making her feel like, she's exaggerating, she doesn't know what she's doing. And all of a sudden, and she wants to make him happy.
Yeah.
And such people, they are narcissists. They are the ones who are hurting you, but they give the world the impression that you are the one hurting them. I know of a woman who lost her mind. What happened? The husband will give her younger brother a check, and they all left the same house to go and give to her in the house. And please tell my wife to withdraw this 500,000. I will tell her what we are using it for. only for him to call the woman back and say, don't even step out to the bank. I'm doing all that so your family believes that I'm taking care of you.
Oh, wow.
So when the woman tries to make her family understand that, see, this is not what you think. They say you are not just a grateful person. And before you know it, she lost her mind. Because she just finished school. When she got married, she wanted to go back to school. He said, no, let's finish having the children. After she finished having 4 children, before you knew it, it was 9 years after post-NC, NYC, she couldn't go back. He said, don't worry, I'll open a business for you. Before you know, it's 15 years.
Wow.
And she was like, who will even employ me now?
Wow.
I'm 40. Who wants to employ me as a fresh graduate at 40? I don't have any work experience. He opens a business for her, but he's in charge. He's in control. He knows everything in and out. So before you know it, she started feeling so little. The other form of gender-based violence is the physical gender-based violence. You know, where there's battering.
Yeah.
You know, and many times, you know, they make the victims feel that it's because I love you, I'm beating you. If I don't love you, I won't be jealous. I won't bother what you do. But because I love you, I'm beating you. I'm trying to protect you. Before you know it, the victims believe. In this field that I work, I know many times we've gone to arrest husbands, do everything, and finally the woman will call you, Madam, let's just leave him. He has begged me. He said he will change. I say, well. And it's so terrible because you've put in so much passion, so much emotions, your money, your time to help this victim come out of this situation. You know? And a lot of women have died.
True.
Recently, a very prominent woman died. And it's so sad. This is a woman who we call Sabi woman. We even call her Sabificate because she says it's not enough to have a certificate. You must sabi what you are doing. So we call her Sabificate. That kind of woman, that caliber of woman, allow the man to gaslight her, isolate her. Because once they want to do that to you, once they start gaslighting you, they will first isolate you from all the significant people in your life. And sometimes they go ahead and even say terrible things about you. So that before you get there, they have said a lot of things. And this happens so much in marriages. And I wonder, 2 people who say we love ourselves, I love you, how come all of a sudden you are gaslighting this person, you don't want the person, people to even hear from the person? And the third kind of gender-based violence is structural gender-based violence. But this is more prevalent in workplaces.
Okay.
You know, a woman is qualified, but because she's a woman, or you have a boss who wants to make you feel that you don't know what you are doing, or is doing you a favor. And some even ask you for unnecessary favor. If not, they say, you know that I will not put your name for that training. After all, you are a woman. You know, we call it structural gender. And it happens too in families. One of my friends, she's a judge in Cross River State. When her father died, their youngest child is the first son.
Okay.
So when she wants to have meeting with them, they say, we want the boy. She said, okay, no problem. After they had several meetings, they now came to meet her. Milord, the money matter. I said, you could talk to the man.
Yeah, talk to the man now.
Talk to the man to give you the money. So I'm a woman. You know, if you're going to talk to a woman who is a judge at that level like that, you can imagine how rife. But unfortunately, more women are dying of gender-based violence, and society is just looking and putting their face away. A lot of women have got into depression.
True.
Substance abuse, because they are trying to find their self again. They have lost their self. And they are wondering, where am I? And before you know it, they take solace in alcohol, some in drugs, all kinds of things, you know, they think it will make them, pacify them. But before you know it, some of them lose their mind. Especially when the relationship abruptly breaks up.
Yeah.
If they don't have the kind of support that they need. At this point, they need a lot of support. They need a lot of people around them, you know. And that's why I tell women, learn to talk with your children. They might be the only people. They might be young, but when they begin to understand what you are going through, they will be able to talk to people.
Yeah.
And I was telling another woman yesterday, I said, I make sure my daughter, she's young, but she knows those who are in my first 11. When I say first 11, there might not be 11 people, but those people who are in my inner circle. So she know who to talk with if there's a need for her to talk to anybody. Because more and more women are suffering mental health issues. You know, our pain thresh is long, it's very large. That's why women can bear labor pain for a very long time. But even at that, not all women. Some women's pain thresh is very short. That's why they have the postnatal blues. After having a child, they lose their mind. Because they're like, is this pain never going to end? So it happens too in relationships. When they keep bearing, tolerating, sometimes they keep covering up, they keep hiding. At some point, they snap.
They just let it go.
They just snap and they just let it go, and they lose themselves. And it happens every day to women of older women, young women, and very young women. For instance, I was counseling a young girl. She's 16. She said she'll kill herself. She became suicidal. Why? Because she was dating a young boy who was in school with her, and she was stealing her parents' money. Parents have a lot of money. She was doing a lot. She said, Mom, you won't understand. I've been doing a lot of stuff for him. And I was laughing. I said, I need to understand this stuff that you have been doing for him. He said, like, we go out, I pay, I buy him clothes, I buy him shoes, I buy him things, just to let him know that I love him.
She loves
and I
him.
said, my dear, let me tell you, the whole issue of love, we have turned it upside down. And that's why more women are suffering mental issue. I said, look at the Bible. Jesus said, husbands, love your wife, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for his life for her. Just like Christ gave himself for the church. I said, the love is the man's duty.
From the man.
Yes, at some point also in the same Ephesians, it says, they should love both. But the main duty of a man is to love his wife. And it's a woman submit, because he knows that submission is a woman problem. We like to be in many places, but loving is for the man. But many times, women want to do both. And it's difficult. You are a human being. You cannot submit and love. You should do one. And what God wants you to do is to submit. So I told her, I said, you are too young. You don't even understand what is love. What makes you think you love him? I said, because it's the person you see now. He has made you to believe that you are the center of his world and that nothing else is important. So I asked her certain questions. I said, all the things you have done to make him happy, was he happy? She said, not always. I said, are your parents happy with you? She said, not at all. I said, so if they put your parents, they put this guy, who will you choose? She said, she will choose the guy. I said, but you know this guy can't pay your bills. I said, it's when your parents drive you out, you can't eat, you can't change your clothes, that you will really understand that it was not love, that you are infatuated.
Being used.
And she said, really, that the parents are even saying she should leave. And I said, if I were them too, I would tell you to leave. I said, this guy doesn't love you. So he doesn't even deserve your commitment. Let me not even call it submission now, because you don't understand submission. Let me call it commitment. I said, you commit yourself to somebody who is committed to you. He's not committed to you. He's still very distracted. How old is he? He says 19. I say, he's barely come out of his pampers. He's trying to understand himself too. He's not yet an adult, and you are a teenager. I gave her some books to read on teens and everything, and I think it has helped. And I think this is a huge problem. Some women start having such deep frustration from when they were very young. Like look at the case of Annie and Two-Face. Annie started dating Two-Face when she was 15. She was just 15. She could barely understand herself, but she was so madly in love with her. And that happened to a lot of people, even older women. Then some women are afraid to be alone. They leave one bad relationship into another bad relationship because they can't wait. They can't give themselves time to heal. They just want to be with a man. And that causes a lot of trauma for them. Because this new man, maybe they would have told him all what they suffered from the former man. So he too is waiting to take advantage. So it becomes a problem. So gender-based violence is real. You can cut it with a knife. in our society. More and more women are going through this, and more women have gotten into a very terrible depression, and most of them are suffering mental health issues. And mental health issues is real.
Yeah.
People think that when you say somebody has mental, I say, so the person don't colo. How can I now, And people are afraid of stigmatization.
Yes.
So they hide it.
Yeah.
But the truth is, get help. Get help. There are counseling psychologists. There are clinical psychologists in most of our hospitals. Please get help. I do a lot of counseling with women too, but I'm a counseling psychologist. I'm not a clinical psychologist. Get help. I have even seen men who don't have any money gaslighting their wives. So it's not as if you're afraid to leave him because this man is rich. But he has made you feel that without him you cannot live. This is the woman that is making the money. One of my teachers in those days told me a story. I laughed the whole day and I keep telling her, I say she served her husband with her hard-earned money, made okra soup with dry ice fish and pomo. Maybe the way she placed on the table, the man say, come here, serve me ice fish and pomo. You are frowning. When I go to a place where they give me dry fish and bush meat with smile, maybe you have to take it away. Say she had to beg him.
Spent so much.
Yes, say she had to beg him to eat the food. That's gaslighting. Because one you didn't provide, you should be grateful. Should be grateful. You should appreciate this woman. And that kind of woman, when that kind of man eventually walks out on her, she becomes depressed. And many times she loses it. That's why we must talk to our daughters. Nobody should take your life from you. They did not give you the life. We must talk to our daughters. Because what most of them understand as love is not love. It's not love. Any man who loves you gives you his all. My husband is waiting for me at the reception. I'm not just being showy. But if I'm here till 9 p.m., he has to be here because his wife is here. Somebody will say, maybe because... No. Today is holiday and I've told him. Any man who loves you gives. Not necessarily money. He will give you his time. Well. He will give you his love. He will give you his attention. The Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Anywhere there's love, there's giving. If the man is not giving you anything, no time, no attention, no money, nothing, there's no love there. You are just waiting to explode. Nothing good will come out of that relationship.
Wow. And
families must take care of their daughters. If your daughter complains that she's been violated or she's not happy in her marriage, listen to her. Marriage does not take anybody to heaven or take you to anywhere. In the roll call in heaven, they're not going to ask, who are those who are married? A young woman is suffering and she's telling you, say, beer. And churches too. We have not helped matters.
Exactly.
You say, pray, fast. The man might just have a mental condition too. And he needs help. Instead of you to look for a way to isolate, remove the woman. Sometimes separation is very important. Remove the woman, let the man get help, let the woman get help, so that they can come back together at the right time. Say, pray, fast. The more you are fasting, the more you are praying, the more violent the man is getting, the more humiliated the woman is getting. And by the time something goes wrong, say, hey, if we had known. No. Let's be realistic. Marriage is good. Marriage is sweet. God created families. But it's not the end of this world. It's not an end to itself. It's not an end to itself. Many, many other things are important in a marriage than just being in a marriage. It's bad enough that this economy is bad than to leave a woman, your daughter, in a bad and painful marriage is worse. It's worse. That's why more women have mental health issues right now. Because a man will just drive out, go and hang out with his friends, drink 1 or 2 bottles of beer, and come back and sleep. But a woman do not have those opportunities. The worst she can do is to talk to a friend. And sometimes if you don't have the right set of friends, it ends in a big gossip. And it's more trauma. It's more problem for the woman. So we must talk about gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is real. More women are dying of gender-based violence. All kinds of gender-based violence. Sexual assault. Some people even say there's no rape in marriage. Sweetheart, there's rape in marriage. Because it must be mutual. Sex is to be enjoyed. It's not to be endured. If you're sleeping with me, I'm not happy, I have headache, I have this, I have that. You say you must do, and you satisfy yourself and you leave. You are killing me slowly. When you do that to your wife, you have raped your wife. Even though culturally people will say that cannot happen. That. It's so terrible. And there are men also who are sleeping with their daughters. Their wives know. But because they don't have financial power, that's why women must be empowered. If there's anybody who needs financial power, it's a woman. I met a woman whose husband has slept with the first daughter, second daughter, third daughter. It was the fourth daughter. That's a member of the church. She knew. And this one said, minus me. She came to me. So we took her out. And I called the woman. Called that someone. I said, are you aware your husband has been... He said, wait till I go to...
Oh my goodness.
So I looked at her. I said, either she's been hypnotized, it's hypnosis, or she has a mental issue too. If not, they say it's the one that disvirgins them. Their 18th birthday, it will disvirgin them. I mean, gender-based violence is real. It's rife.
It's real.
You know, sometimes when I talk about gender-based violence, my whole body quakes.
It's charged.
Yes, and you cannot even talk about how many men are violating their wives sisters, maids that come to live with them, and the maids, the parents too say they want the children to be in the city. So even when the children complain, say manage. If you see and they come run, where will she run to? Let's be thoughtful. Let's give it a deep thought. This person's life you are dealing with is a human being's life. Whether you are a husband, you are a father, whoever you are, let us work together to stop gender-based violence. It's heartbreaking. Gender-based violence is murder. Rape is as good as murder. Let us stop killing our daughters and our children. Let us stop killing our wives. Some men say, it's my temper. Please work on your temper. See a psychologist. Go for counseling. Go for deliverance. You need to do the two, hand in hand. And let's see. And women, take care of yourself. Protect yourself. Marriage is not the end of the world. Relationship, being with a man, is not the end of the world. If God wants that marriage for you, He will make it work. Many times we find ourselves into things that God does not want us, and we suffer for it. Please talk to yourself. Value yourself. If anything happened to you, too many people will suffer. Value yourself. We are out there to help if you need help. And I want to thank the host of The Ultimate Woman for this opportunity to talk about something I'm very passionate about. And I believe that with all the male champions here working with us, that we will talk about it more, we will do more, and we will help to nip this menace. Thank you.
So much has been said. Before I pick on some of the things that she has said, because I actually have a lot of questions from some of the things she said, I would love us to, have a clarification on this. Is domestic violence a type of gender-based violence, or they are two different things entirely? I mean, where do we place domestic violence in all of this?
Domestic violence is a type of gender-based violence.
Okay. So now you talk about the psychological type. Now, what would you say are some of the effects it has on a woman's mental health?
First, you can become very depressed and you can lose your mind. You can lose your self-esteem. It drops your productivity. Because when you are not happy, you are depressed, you cannot be effective. And again, it affects your sex life. It even affects the way you dress. Because after some time, you lose your self-esteem. And when you are depressed, you cannot dress well. You cannot take care of yourself. you just do anything. Some women don't even bathe for days. They're so depressed. They're so sucked into the situation around them. So it affects a woman in every way. Her productivity, financially, in the home front, at work, in her career, her mind, her mindset, her social life. Because before you know it, she starts to isolate herself because she doesn't want people asking her too many questions. So
all right.
It's an all-round thing.
So you also mentioned the fact that a lot of women hide these things. I mean, we're talking about the victims now. They hide this, experiences and all. Do you think that some way, somehow, culture and religion has made some people believe that if you speak out, it's even more dangerous? I'll give you an example. Let's take a cue from the late Osinachi. We all knew what happened, the final judgment on her husband, which has been a major talking point recently. And some persons will say, well, she did not say anything about it because she felt as a woman growing up, she has been taught that you have to, whatever happens in your marriage stays in your marriage. No one should hear about it. Continue to bear and endure. And eventually, at the end, she lost her life to it. But then, do you think in a way culture and religion has made us believe that even if you are being victimized, you don't have to speak up? And why do you think women hide these things? They don't speak out when you're being violated.
I think you've already said it. It's our socialization process. Just like they tell a boy, when you are young, why are you crying? You are a boy. You're not supposed to cry. A lot of men too have gone through psychological gender-based violence and they are even dying because a woman tells the husband that they can't meet, but once they be meet too. You have run down the man.
Yes, man.
You know. So the same way, culture has silenced a lot of women. Say, now you first, now you your husband first beat. You want to disgrace the family. And divorce is not in our family. We don't divorce in our family. So they don't even care at the detriment of your health. And like I said earlier, the church too. Religion has helped to kill more women when it comes to gender-based violence. They just keep praying. Bear.
God will do it.
And when you leave the marriage, there's a church that will first stigmatize you. I talk a lot with women, do a lot of counseling. A woman told me how she left that church because her marriage was not working. At some point, she said, no, let me not die here. So she left. So they were preparing communion. One or two sisters know that she has left her marriage. Immediately she carried. She said, no, you cannot. She said, why? She said, you left your marriage. You left your marriage. She said she was so angry that the tray fell from her hand. Made this very banging noise. And she left. She went pick up her bag. And she left. And she called the pastor. The pastor heard, but he did not call her. So she called him. And he said, for example's sake, we don't want people thinking that to leave marriage is just easy. So he said, Pastor, would you have me die in that marriage than walk away and serve God with my life? So I said, you have to come. We have to talk about it. He said, the fact that you even heard what happened and you did not call me is bad enough. Say, you know what? Forget it. I will serve God, but not in that church. Pastors must get to a place where we must understand that we are flesh and blood. We are human beings. We feel pain. If somebody's telling you, I am pained, listen and look for realistic solutions while you pray along. Don't say prayer first and tell the person to bear the pain. Then when the woman dies, you come to bury the woman. So we must look at those things in our cultures that help, that exacerbates gender-based violence and begin to deal with it. It's like a case of rape. In some communities, say, what is she wear when they rape her?
The way she dress.
So I asked one man, I said, the babies of 3 years, 2 years with Pampers, what seduces the men that rape those babies? Is it the Pampers? Or is it the way the babies walk? Say, madam, now question you ask me. I said, they're sick men. And these men need to be behind the bar. They shouldn't be allowed to be on the streets. If culture is not properly handled, it will destroy things. If religion is not properly handled, it will destroy things. So you must look at how culture and religion can help the people, not to destroy the woman.
To destroy the woman. Wow. Okay. So, for a woman who has gone through a lot of mental health issues, and you said the psychological effects will be depression and the rest of them. Now,
Substance abuse.
Substance abuse. I mean, PTSD is a part of it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how can a woman heal? A woman who has gone through all of this and she wants to be sane again. How can she heal from this?
First is to remove herself from that environment, from that person who has brought her to that state, and begin to do new things that affirm who she is.
Okay.
The first thing. Then two, let her not hide it. Let her tell herself the truth, that I've been violated. I'm depressed. It's like the crisis people go through in life. There's one day I'll talk about mid-age crisis, midlife crisis. It happens to everybody, but it comes in different ways. For some people, it's financial. For some people, it's their career. Some people, it's their marriage. The first thing in every crisis is that you live in denial. You say, this is not happening. No, it's not happening to me. Then suddenly, you realize that it's happening to you. Then you get very angry with everybody around you. Then the last stage is acceptance. The woman must get to the point of acceptance to say, yes, I'm going through depression. I'm dealing with this. I've been violated. I need help for her to be able to get help. As long as she keeps living in denial, as long as she keeps isolating herself, as long as she keeps hiding it, she can never get out of it.
Okay. And then just to take you back on the issue you talked about, rape in marriage, I'll give you an instance. You go to meetings, women forum, conferences, and they tell you, you have no right to say no to your husband. If he wants it at midnight, give it to him. If he wants it in the morning, give it. If he wants it in the afternoon, anytime he wants it, give it to him. But you as a woman, you are not in the right place at that point in time to, give in to his sexual, desires at that point in time. But then because you've been told that you have no right as a wife to deny your husband sex, you have to give him, whether you are in the mood or not. Now, in that case, it talked about rape in marriage. Would you say that if a woman refuses the sexual desires of her husband, she's at fault? Or would you say no, if the man goes ahead and have his way, even when the woman is not in tune with him at that point in time, he raped the wife, as it were?
Yes. If your wife say, I can't have it now, and you go ahead, you raped your wife. But again, this is where communication comes in. Okay. There's a folklore, they call it, evening story in Akwa Ibom, my husband's place. The women will climb the back of pickup to go and do cassava, go and do this. When they come back, they're very tired. They still manage to cook. Then the man will say, so when the women have their annual women meeting, they now did a song, So in the night, when all the men have slept, the women all came out and started singing the song around the town. Say, we will climb back of pickup, we will go and walk, our bodies are broken. Is it the same broken body? You did not massage. You did not help the body. Now you still want to have the body. What if the body dies? Are you going to bring me from my grave? Sensitive. And it became a very sensitive thing. And the king, the Obong, had to call the men and say, look, we need to listen. Communication. I have a friend who said they have sex timetable.
Really?
Yes.
In the home?
She said, because this is what works for me. Say they've had too many quarrels, So once she told the husband, said, guys, sit down. Let's draft a timetable. This is what I do. This is how I work. I know. And I tell men, stable. Sex doesn't happen beautiful when you don't prepare for it. If you know that you want that thing in the evening, start to do things in the daytime. that will already make me know that something is coming
this one.
later in the day. No matter what age, sex is something to be enjoyed. It's something that should be in mutual understanding and beautiful. Anything outside that is rape. It doesn't matter what they are teaching. Some pastors' wives will say, if you want to sit in the kitchen, if you want to sit here.
The toilets, give it
Am I a dog? You must plan certain things. You must talk about it. Yeah. Some women are even frigid. They've had some experience in way back that have made them frigid. Some women just can't have sex like that. There may be a lot of things to make it happen. And that's why a lot of women commit adultery, not going to another man, but right on their bed. I know this is going to arouse a lot. Because a woman told me, say, for her to be able to sleep with her husband, she has to think about somebody she has dated before.
Oh, no.
Say, because the man doesn't care how you feel, what you feel. Say, so she has to take herself back to somebody who have treated her right.
He doesn't know the right places to touch.
Yes, and he's not asking. Even when you say, I beg, make I do, make I go. It's rape. That's not sex. Talk about it. If you can't talk about it in Queen's English, talk about it in your local dialect. There must be a way you can communicate it to the man, A lot of women, women, because we see our menstruation, we lost a lot of blood, a lot of calcium. A lot of women have health problems around their legs, arthritis, all kinds of pains. You also even know how to know how the woman, what position is best for her. By her size, by her weight, and everything. They say na hunchback, owner 9 hours to take the sleep with a hunchback husband and wife. You must ask questions. You must know what is right and where and when. Not that you just assume. You are not animals. You are human beings. And you are meant to communicate. And sex is supposed to bring you closer for you to be able to communicate. And if you are not communicating during sex, before sex or after sex, something is wrong with your sex life. Go back to the board. Go back to the drawing board and see. And you are never too old. My friend's father, 80 years, they marry wife for her. I said, Daddy, do you think you really need a wife? He said, hey, I'm a man.
Even at 80.
I said, Jesus is Lord. At 80. For men, they are never too old though.
Oh, no.
So let no woman deceive themselves that, my husband is getting away. No, they will not. Some men will do that thing till they go to their grave.
Amazing stuff. Now, let's talk about healing processes. I know after a woman goes through a lot of emotional abuse and physical abuse, in a way, her psyche has been damaged because she has been meant to believe so many things that are not true. And in that way, it tends to reduce her self-worth, right? So how can, this prolonged emotional abuse and physical abuse changing the mindset or the thinking processes of a woman, how can she bounce back from that and begin to, think good about herself again?
First, she must change her environment. Must change her environment. Then she must look for something that she has always wanted to do, that she has not done, that she must begin to do. Probably she always wanted to go to school. She couldn't go to school. This is the time to pick up herself and go back to school. It's not a very easy thing, not as easy as the way I'm saying it, but it's a step-by-step process. And she must know that this trauma didn't happen overnight. So it's a process. The healing process is slow and steady. It's not a 100-meter dash. It's a marathon. She has to keep working on herself. I know somebody who got a law degree at 60. She always wanted to be a lawyer. Wow. But she got into marriage. So many things had happened. She had health issues, all of it. But by the time she picked up herself, left the marriage, she left, went back to a different city, took the SSCE exam. Now with age, she said, I didn't even know I was this intelligent. She was able to write the GCE, got into school. I said, why don't you do Open University? She said, no, it's going to take too much time. Went into the campus. At this time, she was like 54, 55.
Wow.
You know, her children were even grown, but they were very supportive. They helped her to go through school. She went through school, did well, went to law school, and was called to the bar. She said, if this is all I achieve, I am happy.
Right.
But I tell you, she said, not because I'm looking for any job. No government will give me a job at 60, but I could practice.
Yeah.
So now she's doing development work. Her law degree has become very important, very useful, side by side. And she also works in the area of gender-based violence, and it's helping her. And she said, I will still work until I'm 70. So at 70, I know that, yes, I must retire. I said, but for now, I feel very renewed. I feel very young in my heart. And I feel that can still conquer a lot.
What she wanted to do.
So first is to remove yourself from that place where you have suffered all of this pain and tell yourself, I'm starting afresh. I need to get back myself. I am better than what I'm seeing now. And it can get better. And she also needs to talk to people. She needs help because it's not something you can do alone.
Just do overnight.
Yes. You need a lot of help. You need to read too. You need to read. The things you discover yourself in reading, they are imprinted in your heart than what people tell you, because you read it and you got the crux of the matter from that thing that you read. It sits there and it resonates. But when somebody tells you, you're not too sure.
Amazing. Now, let's quickly look at the fact. I always believe that nothing just happens overnight. For people in relationships, they must have seen the signs, especially the ladies.
Yes.
You're in a relationship with a man who constantly beats you. Probably he's not beating you just yet, but he's always trying to talk down on you at every opportunity he gets. He always shouts. He always tries to use some dangerous objects around you. And you're like, okay, he's angry. That's why he did it. I know it's not going to be like this forever. And then some persons will tell you, oh, no, don't worry, he will change. Oh, no, because don't worry, he will change. And then we tend to believe that all of these changes will happen. But then you eventually go into the marriage and you see even worse. And that's when he starts hitting you. But then you could have stopped it at the relationship stage, but you didn't. How would you advise young women going into relationships, when they see these signs in their men? What would you tell them? How would you advise them to either disengage or, what is that thing you would like to tell them?
It's very difficult to talk to a young woman who is in love. But the red flags are there. A man who shouts at you in public, a man who is always raising his voice, a man who even tries to hit you, then realize that he's in the public. Those are red flags that this person is not the kind of man you should marry. Even for men too. A woman who does not respect you in presence of his friends. No matter how hungry you are as a young woman, a man you want to marry. I've seen a young girl tell the husband, shut up.
Wow.
Husband to be. They came to meet me, they want to make cake. So she said she wanted a 7-step cake. I said, what do you want to do with it? Is that the menu for the wedding? He said, no, that's what she wants. And the man said, don't mind her, she wants to show up. She said, oh, shut up.
In
so
your
I
presence.
asked her, I said, who is paying for the cake? I said, you tell him to shut up. I said, if he's my brother, this thing will not proceed. And she was like, Madam, I say you don't like money.
Wow.
I said, no, it's wrong. I said, I'm a pastor. It's in my place to tell you right. Those red flags are there. A man who just comes in, know that if he throws his shoes around, you are going to keep picking those shoes after him. It's not going to change. A frog does not turn a prince overnight. And you are not Holy Spirit. You cannot change him. It's only the Holy Spirit that changes people.
True.
So it's either you make up your mind that you want to marry him like that, with those red flags, or at that point in time, you say no. You know what? You're a good person. But your temperament is not something I can deal with. So let us leave it at this. We'll always be friends. Maybe. And you see some men are very crazy, but they meet a crazier woman and they become calm.
True.
In the work I do, I see all kinds of things. I've seen a woman who used car key to push the husband's head.
Wow.
Said because he was parking a car and the car fell. The gutter said, everybody pass here. It's only you that will do contrary. Use the key to push the man's head.
Wow.
And the man just smiled. Some crazy men will just start beating you from that point.
Slap straight up.
And so when you see those red flags, you must tell yourself, it's either you have made up your mind to die inside the relationship or you want to save yourself. But unfortunately, like Nigeria, as a country, we don't learn. We don't. And I mean, they say a wise person learns from other people's mistakes and experience, but we don't learn. So if we can't learn, that's the time to call off that relationship, whether the man or the woman.
Very, very amazing. Now, you talked about seeking help for women who are going through gender-based violence. Are there helplines or agencies? I know you have a foundation, that tends to address these issues. I mean, tell us of how we can seek help for women going through gender-based violence.
Okay, we do a lot of counseling. If you call us, we get the victim, we talk to them. And when we see that at the point that victim is, he needs a clinical psychologist, we'll refer them. Just that today in Delta State, there are very few clinical psychologists. Sometimes 2 hospitals share one clinical psychologist. Sometimes they're not very thorough. Sometimes, but there's always safety in the multitude of counsel. So we ask them, talk to people. See a psychiatrist. It might not necessarily be a clinical psychologist. See a psychiatrist. See somebody who knows better than you.
It's therapy.
Yes. So that you can go through therapy. Therapy is very important. Just that here in Nigeria, once people hear therapy, they say,
they try to
peg
it as a very
bad thing. It's just like addiction.
Yeah.
When you talk about addiction, the first thing that comes to people's mind, smoking, drinking. But there are all other lot of addictions that people are dealing with. I know somebody who eats sand.
Sand?
Yes, dry sand. If they just pour it, if she perceives it, she will just look for a way to go there and pack the sand.
Wow.
And start chewing it. He says that thing that it does to her teeth, that's the crave.
Oh, no.
I used to eat unzu. Me, myself. I used to eat baked clay. It will get so bad that sometimes, as late as 10 p.m., I said, I need to go. I had to pray. I had to deal with it. I looked at the medical implications and I spoke with myself. There are so many other addictions. Some of the addictions, if you hear, there are people who go and smell people's armpits.
I thought all those things happen with pregnant women.
No, not just pregnant women. All kinds of terrible, terrible addictions. All kinds of terrible addictions. And they are not seeking help because they don't think that it's bad enough. They think that this was no. But addiction is addiction. Okay. So it's the same thing. Any kind of red flag you see in you must seek help. Seek help. Some people are addicted to malpractice. I've seen people who cheat in Bible school.
Bible school?
Yes. And you want to get a degree or a diploma in theology or whatever. Yet you are cheating. So they are addicted to cheating. They just can't feel that they have the time to spend, to read, to do anything. So there are different levels. So at any level, seek help. Talk to somebody. Talk to your pastor. If you are not getting the right kind of counsel from your pastor, look for somebody else. I know somebody who has one eye from beating from her husband.
Wow.
It was when she lost her eye, the man realized that he has gone overboard. That was the day he stopped beating her, from the day she came back from the hospital. So she's in the marriage with one eye.
Oh, no.
So when you ask her, she will jokingly tell you, say, now who gets me now, I'm blind now. So we did like that. And I'm sure all of his life... She
still remained in the marriage.
She still remained in the marriage. Wow. She didn't leave. She didn't leave, and it's very regrettable, So let us also encourage people to seek help. Churches should stop stigmatizing divorcees or single mothers. Churches should stop stigmatizing these people. If they have a choice, they won't go through that route. It's like some churches will say they will not dedicate a child that was born out of wedlock. If the child have his choice, does he want to come out of wedlock? He doesn't want that kind of life. Doesn't want that kind of life. So you should think for the child and the child's future, not your doctrine. And what makes you think you are more righteous than the other church.
Now, let me bring you in on the children, because most times homes where, such kind of violence happen, it has a huge effect on the children. I heard someone say, oh, I have a child because I think I was watching a program on TV and someone called and said, I'm a victim of domestic violence and now it has affected my children. In fact, my senior son said he would never get married because of what he saw his father do to his mother, and all that stuff. So all of these effects happen to the children. Now, how do we change that mentality? I mean, you see a child from a broken home, he's being stigmatized. Oh, not be you or your mama, you leave your papa. The stigma comes because of what happened with their parents. I mean, how do we change these narratives and how do we help these children heal from such family trauma?
It's a very difficult process. One, the children must make up their mind that they will heal. And you find out that sometimes children from such home end up replaying the same narrative.
Thing, exactly.
Somebody told me, he kept shouting at his wife. So one day he asked himself, so what am I doing? This was exactly what my father was doing when we were growing up. It needs, again, a lot of talking, a lot of interaction. People who come from such home should also seek help. Don't wait until it replaces your marriage. Already know that you have a problem there. That's why some women too are very secretive, saying, who tell something, help. My mother was very open with my father. At the end of the day, used it against my mother. So me, I won't say anything. Some girls will even tell you, I can't marry a poor man. God forbid. Say my father was poor and brutal. Say it's better than a man that has money is beating me than a poor man to be beating me. So all of that, you must know where your own is and begin to work on it. Begin to work on it. Begin to talk to yourself about it. Talk to people who can help you. Significant others who can help you. We must be open about these things. If not, they will destroy us. And I've also seen people who were victims of rape. They became rapists themselves. They become perpetrators because they are trying to avenge what has happened to them. Not knowing that because they were not healed, because they didn't go through trauma healing, they were not healed. So that pain, that hurt, they take it to people who did not hurt them. So it's something that we must talk about.
I heard a woman who had HIV and she was freely giving it to everyone because she wanted to infect a lot of people.
Yes, it's bitterness, it's pain. Some women are acting out the pain their mother went through. So when they meet a man, they say, me, can't suffer what my mother suffered. Going to deal with any man that come my way because they did not heal from the pain, their trauma that their mother suffered. So I think we must do more in schools.
Okay.
The earlier we talk about it, the better. For me, I take these talks to schools.
Okay.
Day of the Girl Child, International Women's Day. I look for avenues. You'll be surprised as you begin to talk. You hear them say, it's true, it's true, it's true. Because they are suffering this hurt.
Same thing.
But they are not talking about it.
All right. I think the sensitization actually should begin from the schools where, these children can get to understand that healing is possible, so they don't start, having that kind of mentality growing up, which is very important. Okay, so let's try to wrap this up real quick now. If you were to speak to a woman out there who is going through any form of gender-based violence, if you were to give some words of encouragement or advice to such a woman, what would you say to her?
Well, I would tell her, look, you are not the only one who's gone through this. Many others will still go through it. Try all you can, get your life back. Seek for help. Go to where you will find help. Forget whether people will laugh at you. Don't be ashamed. It's better to be alive, to take care of yourself, your children, and the important people in your life than to die and allow your children and the important people in your life suffer. Seek help by all means.
Seek help by all means. That's the key word there. So if you're watching and you are actually going through this painful trauma, or you know someone who is going through any form of violence, please tell them to seek help, because the more you keep quiet, the more you keep silent, the more your healing takes a longer time. So you've got to seek help so you can fasten your healing process. Oh my God, it's been an awesome time having you on the show. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I know you've got so much to talk about, but maybe we'll just bring it in some time again as we get to talk more about these issues, you know, as it concerns women. We've been speaking with Pastor Mrs. Bridget Affiah. She is the Executive Director, Ideal Women Advancement Initiative, and the JD4 Foundation. And we've been talking about gender-based violence and the impact on a woman's mental health. So much has been said already. I believe that if you can take the advice and the instructions she's given on this episode, I'm sure you would be on your way to total healing. Well, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the Ultimate Woman Show with NK. It's been a very insightful and enlightening one, and I am so glad that we had this conversation. Do well to follow us on our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe if you are yet to do so. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit the notification button so you can get notified on all our subsequent episodes. Until we come your way again on our next episode, do stay blessed, stay safe, and be good. The Ultimate Woman Show is proudly brought to you by Tams Empire Global Entertainment.